new mechanisms to strengthen management of halal meat imports. Probe on 10 companies over Mitra funds, almost complete. Welcome to Updates at Noon with me, Brendan Lepore. 3 new mechanisms will be implemented to ensure the integrity of the management system for the import of halal meat products into the country. Prime Minister Dr. Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said these mechanisms would be implemented by the Department of Islamic Development Malaysia, JAKIM, and several related agencies in response to the imported meat cartel episode in December last year, which served as an eye-opener to many quarters regarding the importance of having a sound management system for the halal product supply chain in Malaysia. He said among the new requirements is for animal-based products stored at warehouses to possess the Malaysia Halal Certificate (SPHM) under the Scheme for Warehousing Logistics category. Meanwhile, he said the global market of the halal industry is projected to reach 10 trillion ringgit by 2024. In this regard, the Economic Planning Unit (EPU) of the Prime Minister's Department forecasts that the halal market segment would contribute to about 8.1% to the national gross domestic product (GDP).
Hal ini menunjukkan industri halal berpotensi menjana ekonomi negara kerana populasi penduduk Islam dunia ketika ini berjumlah 1.8 bilion dan jumlah ini akan terus meningkat sehingga 2.2 bilion pada tahun 2030.
He said this in his speech at the National Halal Conference 2021 held virtually today. 30 individuals have been placed under quarantine after they were identified as close contacts to 17 workers of a leading resort in Langkawi who tested positive of COVID-19. Kedah Health Director Dr. Othman Warijo said to date, the outbreak is only limited among the resort staff and did not involve its guests and tourists. In a statement, Dr. Othman said all staff at the resort, including those who tested positive, have completed their COVID-19 vaccination and they have been placed under home surveillance after developing mild symptoms. The department will monitor the development to ensure prevention and containment measures were applied at all times. The resort's management has took its own initiative to suspend operations temporarily for 10 days to curb the spread of the virus and protect the safety of staff and guests. The investigation into 10 companies that received the Malaysian Indian Transformation Unit (MITRA) grants is almost completed. Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission (MACC) Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said the investigation papers will be submitted to the Deputy Public Prosecutor in the near future to determine the next course of action.
Jadi 10 syarikat pertama tu kita hampir siap dah. Hampir siap. Dan kita akan kemukakan dan tempoh terdekat ini kepada Timbalan Perdana Raya untuk dicalonkan pertuduhan. Dicalonkan pertuduhan. Yang lain itu masih ongoing dan kita masih lagi bekerjasama dengan kementerian atas Jabatan Perpaduan bagi membuat satu bentuk task force untuk melihat semua lagi yang klaim-klaim yang dibuat itu.
He said this to reporters after launching the Anti-Corruption Awareness Campaign in Public Transport, a joint initiative between MACC and MRT Corp at the Museum Negara MRT station in Kuala Lumpur yesterday. He said the MACC was still investigating 2 aspects, namely the elements of crime and improvement of the procedures and grant allocation system. Tan Sri Azam admitted that there were flaws in the system and procedure adopted by the government, adding that MACC was discussing the matter with the respective ministry to prevent recurrence. Prior to this, it was reported that MACC was reviewing all applications, expenditure reports and programs said to have been implemented by recipients of the Mitra allocations from 2019 to 2021. This was in view of the arrest of several company directors on suspicion of being involved in the misappropriation of Mitra funds. The Immigration Department detained 129 illegal immigrants at a factory producing metal tools in Balakong Sri Kembangan at 8 p.m. last night on suspicion of not having any valid documents and misusing documents issued by the Immigration. Immigration Director General Dato' Khairul Zaimi Daud said they comprise 110 men and 19 women from Indonesia, Myanmar, India and Bangladesh, aged 20 to 49.
Telah menyerbu sebuah kilang di sini, di daerah Sri Kembangan ini, yang mengeluarkan peralatan besi untuk digunakan oleh mesin-mesin dan kilang-kilang lain. Maklumat daripada orang ramai yang diterima oleh Immigration ialah kilang ini disyaki menggunakan tenaga kerja asing, warga negara asing yang tidak mempunyai dokumen.
Commenting further on illegal immigrants, Dato' Khairul Zaimi said the recalibration plan for illegal immigrants program, which ends on 31st December, would not be extended. He said for employers to register their employees by the end of December, even though the short-term working visit pass, PLKS, has not been issued and is under process, enforcement action will not be imposed on them. He also urged employers to make full use of the facility. The Melaka police have busted the Abang 888 drug syndicate after arresting an Indonesian man and seizing 40 kilograms of drugs believed to be methamphetamine, worth 1.44 million ringgit in a raid at a homestay in Pantai Putri on 18 November. Melaka Police Chief Dato' Abdul Majid Muhammad Ali said the 39-year-old man who entered the country 3 years ago to work as a labourer was detained in a raid by the Melaka Contingent Police Headquarters Narcotics Criminal Investigation Department (NCID) around 8 p.m. He said the drugs were disguised as packs of tea to avoid police detection and placed in 2 clothes bags that the suspect brought along during his stay at the homestay.
Dalam masa daripada 3 bulan tu kita tengok dia aktifnya menggunakan Melaka ni sebagai tempat transit dalam tempoh 1 bulan. Dia MO dia dadah yang datang pada luar tu, dia akan pergi kepada homestay ni sebagai tempat transit dia. Kalau tuan-tuan tengok dekat ni kita ada 2 bag, itu tempat transit dia. Di sana dia akan menunggu courier. Dia akan menunggu transporter pula, boat daripada Indonesia untuk datang ambil dan bawa masuk ke negara jiran tu.
He said the suspect tested negative for drugs and has been remanded for 7 days from 19 November to facilitate investigation under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. Dato' Abdul Majid also noted that there had been a change in trends by drug smugglers in Melaka as they are now recruiting foreigners as agents or drug mules instead of locals. A man was injured when the car he was travelling in was hit by a falling tree in a landslide close to a hotel near Tanah Rata, Cameron Highlands yesterday. Pahang Fire and Rescue Department Zone 3 Chief Shahrul Nizam Nasir said the victim, who was a passenger in the vehicle, suffered a nosebleed, while 3 other men in the car did not sustain any injuries. The victim and one of the passengers were successfully rescued by firemen and handed over to hospital authorities, while the public rescued the other 2 men. In a related statement, Shahrul Nizam said a 2-hour heavy downpour in the hill resort caused landslides and falling trees in several areas around Tanah Rata and Ringlet. Landslides and falling trees occurred near Big Red Strawberry Park, the Sungai Palas Boh Tea Plantation route, as well as the road to Watercress Valley and Rose Valley in Tanah Rata. He said the incident caused roads to be blocked. However, there were no casualties or damage to property. In Ringlet, landslides and falling trees took place near Taman MCA, Taman Pelangi and Batu 20, Jalan Tapa, and caused the roads to be blocked. But there were no casualties or loss of property. Several areas in Ampang, in the nation's capital, were hit by flash floods following heavy rain lasting more than 1 hour late yesterday afternoon. The Selangor Fire and Rescue Department said the affected areas included Jalan Hillview, Kampung Lembah Jaya Utara and Lembah Jaya Selatan, which were inundated by 1.5 meters of water that overflowed from a nearby drain. Hulu Langat Zone 4 Senior Officer 1 Shahrin Yusmarmad Yusof said the Fire and Rescue Department rescued 3 victims in Kampung Lembah Jaya Utara and Lembah Jaya Selatan, while other areas did not involve any victims. The Fire Department, however, would be on standby in the locations if there was a need to evacuate affected victims.
Setakat ini kita tidak menerima apa-apa panggilan mangsa cedera ataupun mangsa kritikal kecuali terdapat 2 buah keluarga yang terperangkap di pasca banjir di mana rumah mereka telah ditenggelami oleh banjir selut lah.
Meanwhile, Selangor Fire and Rescue Department Director Nur Azam Kamis, when contacted, said that 11 people from 2 families who were having a picnic by the river and Sungai Pinang waterfall along Jalan Batang Kali also had to be rescued. The 2 families, comprising 3 adults and 8 children, were trapped on the other side of the river, and since the water rose fast, they became stranded. A fire brigade from Bukit Sentosa Station was mobilized to the location after the 7:26 p.m. distress call. All those stranded due to the flood have been safely evacuated as of 9:45 p.m. Terengganu FC, TFC have fallen into a difficult path in their mission to qualify for the 2021 Malaysia Cup mission after being held to a 1-1 draw by 2019 champions Johor Darul Ta'zim JDT in the first leg semi-final last night. Now in the action at Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium, Kuala Terengganu, the hosts succeeded in taking the lead but failed to hold on to position and thereby giving the advantage of away goal to JDT in the second leg this Friday. The results also kept the clean record of both TFC and JDT in their Malaysia Cup campaign intact, as the 2 teams, receiving a pass from Arif Aiman Muhammad Hanapi, weaved his way past 2 TFC defenders to put in a thunderous volley with his right foot for a goal in the 50th minute. Meanwhile, the same score was also to the final would be determined in the second leg in Malacca on Friday. Robert Lewandowski is in the running to retain his Best FIFA Men's Player award after he was named Monday on an 11-man shortlist alongside Karim Benzema and Jorginho. Perennial candidates Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo feature among the nominees, with Neymar, Mohamed Salah and Kylian Mbappe also up for a prize, first awarded in 2017. Erling Haaland, N'Golo Kante and Kevin De Bruyne complete the list of potential winners. Thomas Tuchel is a front-runner for Best Men's Coach after leading Chelsea to the Champions League title. He faces competition from Roberto Mancini, the mastermind of Italy's Euro 2020 triumph. Other nominees are Hansi Flick, Pep Guardiola, Antonio Conte, Diego Simeone and Argentina boss Lionel Scaloni. Voting will run from 22nd November to 10th December. The 3 finalists in each category will be revealed in early January, with the awards ceremony to be held virtually from FIFA headquarters in Zurich on 17 January. The separate Ballon d'Or awards ceremony will be staged in Paris on 29th November. Gareth Southgate said he was excited to sign a 2-year contract extension as England manager after an incredible experience during his 5 years at the helm. The 51-year-old's deal was set to expire after next year's World Cup, but he has been rewarded by the Football Association after England reached the Euro 2020 final, their best performance at a major tournament for 55 years. Southgate, who also masterminded a run to the semi-finals at the 2018 World Cup in Russia, has transformed his team into serious contenders after years of underachievement.
So to be able to be in a position to connect people to the team as we have done over the last few years has been very, very special, and felt that there's still opportunity to improve that, to create more of those evenings, more of those memories. And feel that the team can still improve and are continuing to want to improve and going with the messages that Steve, myself, the coaching team, the whole staff are giving to them. So a very exciting period. I've said before, I think England are in a good place for a number of years to come, and to have the opportunity now of a World Cup and another European Championship is hugely exciting.
Southgate, who will now oversee England's Euro 2024 campaign, told reporters his side had made great progress. England booked their place at next year's World Cup in Qatar with a 10-0 hammering of San Marino last week to top their group. Expectations are high that England, now with invaluable experience under the belts, can add a second World Cup to their only previous major tournament win in 1966. Qatar 2022 venue, Stadium 974, has been officially unveiled and will host its first match on 30th November when the United Arab Emirates and Syria go head-to-head on the opening day of the 2021 Arab Cup. Stadium 974 is the 7th tournament venue being declared ready to host matches during next year's World Cup, which is scheduled to kick off on 21st November. The first semi-final and the third place playoff. And that's it from us this afternoon. In our top story, new mechanisms to strengthen management of halal meat imports. News at 10 comes on this evening on My Freeviews Berita RTM news channel. With that, we leave you with a visual of hundreds of murals of late football star Diego Maradona that emerged in Buenos Aires and its outskirts, many of them created in last year as a tribute to the idol after his death. Till then, I'm Brendan LaPaul. Thanks for watching.